Right, here today with Nigel from Arrington's. Welcome, Nigel. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Peter. Nice to see you as well.
Good. So you're a letting agent. You cover the Brighton area, am I right in saying?
Yes, we cover most of Sussex, cover Brighton and particularly the student lettings in Brighton, and then obviously the residential lettings throughout Sussex, around the heart of Sussex, around Hayward Heath and Burgess Hill.
Yep, yep. And of course, the $64,000 question is, how are you getting on? I mean, are the existing tenants that you've got, are they all playing the game? Are they all playing okay, paying okay, or are you having problems?
I mean, obviously, there were a lot of questions at the start. The government obviously announcing that landlords can have a 3-month mortgage holiday. Maybe not quite the right phrase to use as a holiday, I don't think.
Yeah,
A lot of tenants thought that they were then entitled to a 3-month holiday also.
yeah,
So, yeah, we did receive a lot of questions to start off with. But once we'd explained that, obviously following the government advice, provided them with the details of the website, on all the government advice as well. Most tenants have understood that, understand that they're still obviously liable for their tenancy agreements and they're liable to pay the rent, etc. Paying rental, yes, we're not experiencing any real problems at all. We've got 2 tenants that are on payment plans. That's it. But again, we're taking a realistic approach to this. We're asking them to provide evidence to show that they are obviously in
yeah,
hardship and going to be struggling,
yeah,
because we have had a lot of questions, obviously just put to us where tenants do just want rent off because they feel they're entitled to it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So we are asking them to provide us with evidence, and where the evidence stacks up, and they provide it to us, then yes, we're entering and we're trying to be reasonable, and enter into payment plans to pay that off back and return that over time.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're doing exactly what we keep telling all our members to do, which is for a tenant to say to you, the reason I can't pay is coronavirus is unacceptable.
Mm.
They have to show that they're doing something to mitigate their circumstances.
Indeed,
If they're
indeed.
doing nothing, that's just completely unacceptable. So you've
Yeah.
not had to do any notice to quit yet at all. You're not done that.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. And how are you getting on with maintenance and things like that, and electrical certificates and gas certificates, etc.?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we're taking cautions now. All our engineers, our maintenance chaps are taking precautions. They all obviously have the gloves, they have shoe covering protections, they have masks, they have antibacterial wipes, etc.
Yeah,
All that can be worn when they're going into a property. If the tenants are in situation, obviously we're asking them to isolate themselves away into another room whilst the engineer is there at the time. The engineer is doing what they can to make sure that they're not touching anything whilst they're in the property, that they don't need to, and just wiping down any surfaces that they do touch as well. So, taking a very practical approach to it and just being sensible in reality, and just trying to keep their distance, keep that at least 2 meters apart, and only carrying out essential maintenance where it's required. Anything that can wait a little while, obviously, we're just putting on hold.
yeah. And electrical and gas certificates, are you
Yes,
planning to do those?
yeah, obviously that they're required, so we are continuing with those,
Yeah,
and just taking the practical steps again to ensure that we're keeping that distance between the engineers and the tenants.
yeah, yeah. Because we did, there was advice given out by government, which said that if you've made every effort to get an electrical or a gas certificate and you can't get it, then keep evidence that you've done that, and then when you finally can, you can. So,
Yes. Yeah.
but no, I'm glad to hear that you're still able to get them. So,
Yeah, I mean, we're putting it to the tenants first. Are they happy for them to come in? And we
yeah,
haven't had any tenants say that they're not
yeah,
happy for the engineers to come in. We've had a couple of tenants say that they're isolating at that point, and obviously, if they're isolating and they've got symptoms, then obviously it's not worth taking the risk at that
yeah,
time. But we start to arrange the gas safeties 4 weeks beforehand, so we're scheduling them in. So we've got plenty of time and room for them to come up. So.
okay. And you still doing viewings?
We are of sorts, yes, indeed. We ran around our properties that were available pre the shutdown and took some videos where we could. So we have links to videos that we're able to show applicants. Where properties are empty, or at least where they've been empty for at least 72 hours, then we will go into those properties and do FaceTime or WhatsApp viewings with potential applicants as well, which is working really well, actually, especially with the younger generation. Obviously, we have conversations with 3 or 4 people on the phone whilst we're in the property. It's very much like a normal viewing. Obviously, being very careful to make sure that they get to see all warts and all of the property,
Yeah.
when we're viewing it. But yeah, no, it's proving interesting, fun. Viewing seems to be taking about the same sort of time, about 15 to 20 minutes for a viewing. We've let some properties in this period as well. Some tenants have felt comfortable enough with those, obviously, conference calls, WhatsApp and FaceTime, and the links that we've sent them. Obviously, we have detailed photographs of the properties anyway on our website, and we have backups of photos when we move tenants into properties, so we have the inventories, etc. So with all that information, tenants have felt satisfied that they're comfortable to proceed, and they are still taking the properties. And I think they're getting ahead. The good quality properties that are out there, especially for the student market, obviously in Brighton, we've sort of got 2 different markets. The student market, students are still looking, obviously, in reduced numbers. But where they feel comfortable enough, they are still taking properties, still trying to get ahead of the tenants that are waiting till we come out of lockdown and waiting to see if the universities reopen. And then we've got the standard residential market, which is obviously slower, but obviously where tenants need to move, they are still looking and making those, taking those properties. And we've got a lot of inquiries where people are speculatively looking, and they're wanting to make their move once we come out of lockdown.
Yeah, and right to rent checks, you're still able to do those?
Yes, I mean, obviously we're taking the photographs. They've been allowed at the moment that you're allowed to obviously WhatsApp, FaceTime them with the documents, etc. So we're still carrying out those. We ask for copies of the documents to be photographed and emailed to us, and then we do a WhatsApp, FaceTime viewing with them just to verify that.
It's going to be interesting to see of all these what continues as you're doing it now. So
yes,
that's going to change, isn't it? So
yeah, I think there'll be a lot of changes for a lot of agents and a lot of landlords moving forward. We were set up to be effectively 100% internet capable anyway. There's no need for us to be physically present in our offices or our high street offices, but it's just proved that we are 100% capable of working remotely. We're all working from home at the moment, and there's no effect to the business in doing that.
Yeah. Right, thank you for all that, Nigel. It's all good stuff. There's a lot there. We will be doing more videos, so I look forward to seeing you on another video.
Well, that would be my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, thank you.